Hey, this is John from All the Way to 11. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at this Colt Government Mark IV Series 80 380 single-action semi-automatic handgun. Now, this is essentially the same as a Colt Mustang, and it's produced from 1983 until 1997. Similar to a 1911, just scaled down. Doesn't have a grip safety, locking lugs engaged a little differently. So, this particular Colt Government has a broken extractor, so I'm going to be changing that here in a minute. To give you an idea of the scale of this compared to, say, other more common guns, I will bring up my Glock 26. And as you can see, essentially they're the same length and about the same height, although the Government is slightly longer. But where the Colt has a big advantage over the Glock, and why they make a single stack Glock now, is in the fact that it's narrow. It is very narrow, easy to conceal, and it feels great in the hand even though it's pretty thin. Pretty small. So let's go ahead and start out with making sure it's empty. Now we'll pull the slide off. In order to do that, we will pull the slide back. We'll zoom in. We'll pull the slide back, push the slide lock pin out. There we go. Pull the slide off. I'm going to go ahead and pull the recoil spring out. Like so. Now turn the barrel bushing that way. Take out the recoil spring cap. Turn the barrel bushing the other way. The other way. If I can get it there. There we go. See that little lug? You need to get that lug lined up with that gap. Once you've done that, go ahead and pull the barrel out. Slide is disassembled. Now you have a plate back here that holds your firing pin in, and what holds that in is the tension of the firing pin. And this is the extractor we need to change. So what we're going to do is we're going to push the firing pin down with the punch, kind of lever that plate down. Do that again. Push the firing pin in, kind of lever the plate down, let the firing pin come back up and catch on it. Now there are two ways you can proceed from here. The one thing you don't want to do is just push that plate off. If you just push that plate off, the firing pin is going to shoot right out. And if you're doing it right in front of your face, it will go into your eye, which isn't fun. So you can either put your hand over it and push it out that way, or you can do it the way I'm about to do it here, which I prefer to do, but is a little more difficult. I'm going to push this down with my punch, and then I'm going to get on the firing pin. There goes our extractor. And then I'm going to slowly release it, like so. There's our firing pin and spring. There we go. And the extractor just fell right out the front like that. Now this is our extractor. If you look, you can see it's broken right there on the end. Yeah, you can see it. There you go. See, it's broken. In order to get a new one of these, they're kind of hard to find. I had to go to Jack First Inc., which is actually a company I was really glad to buy this part from because they seem like a good company. If you go to their website and read their story, I think you'll agree with me on that. And these parts are kind of hard to find. They make them, and it will require some hand fitting, which I've already done in order to speed up the video. But it is a new made part. It is slightly different than the original Colt part. But this also is for the Mustang and the Government, kind of a universal part. And as you can see, it's got a, well, there we go. It's got a bit beefier lip on that extractor, so hopefully it won't break. I'm not actually a big fan of the internal extractor on the Government or the 1911s, either one. But this one hopefully will last. Now let's go ahead and try to put it back in without shooting the firing pin back into my face. When you're doing the fitting on it, something that I did find helpful is I would take a, well, not a 40. That's why you shouldn't have just shell casings lying around. Take a 380 shell casing and slide it underneath the paw of the extractor to kind of hold it in place, like so. Where I wanted it, oh, like so. You can see use that to hold the extractor in place while I would test fit the back plate. So, which took a little bit. I mean, it took a little bit of time to get it to fit, but it fits. So let's go ahead and pop that back out. Like I said, you can just put a 380 shell casing there underneath the edge of the extractor just to hold it in while you're test fitting and doing all that. Keeps it in the right spot, otherwise it tends to want to kind of slide around in there. Okay, now that I've got that in, I kind of hate to pull that out any further, as it will want to slide, and I am going to have to turn this, which is going to be really hard to film, but I don't want that extractor to move too much. So let's zoom out just a tad and wish me luck. I'll pull that down. No, it moved. Okay. Now the reason why you can't leave that, I guess if you had a deprimed, I should probably have grabbed a deprimed shell casing. If you had a deprimed shell casing, you could put it in there and leave it in there, and you wouldn't have to worry about the firing pin extending too far. But I don't have one of those lying around. Put your firing pin spring on your firing pin, like so. Slide it down into the hole, like so. And now if you see, it's got the step there. You can go ahead and push that down, and the back plate will hold it in place on that first step, like that. And then you can use that to kind of get your extractor where you want it. Probably make sure there aren't any hairs or anything on it. And then you'll have to take, once you get your extractor where you want it, you'll take your punch, push in on your firing pin. Well, you have to push your plate. You have to push on your firing pin, pull your plate back out, and then you can get it on that second notch, and then your extractor can roll, and that won't be in place anymore. So then you'll have to get it back into place, like that. There we go. Maybe. There we go. There we go. Like I said, you'll have to kind of, and I really wish I could film it better, but gravity would work against me pretty badly if I tried to turn that. But get that into place, then you can push your plate up, firing pin clicks into place, and you have a good working extractor. So now we will reassemble the slide, starting with the barrel, and then barrel bushing, then your recoil spring cap, then your recoil spring. Probably would help if I turn the barrel bushing back into place. There we go. Then your recoil spring, and that's in there. And then your slide back on. Then slide lock, make sure you get that in there in your lug. There we go. Let's slide that back to, there we go, to the notch in the slide. And that is one working Colt Government. Now, like I said, I was I was really happy to order this part from Jack First Co. I'd actually looked at some other parts on their website before, and I didn't have any reason to buy them. And I'd read about their story, and it's like, wow, I really like this company. So, like I said, got the extractor from them, Jack First Inc. And if you need parts for this or several other kind of obsolete parts that are hard to find, they have them. So, if you can't find them at Numerich or somewhere else, it's definitely a place to go. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it helpful and informative, and if you have a broken extractor, hopefully this gets it fixed. Have a wonderful day.